sting like a bee.
What made you want to be a racing driver? Was there something you can think of in your early life that captured your imagination?
I think it was just that as every young kid, I was into cars. What happened was, my dad, we lived in a one-bedroom flat, and across the street was this guy that built models.
Right.
I don't know if you'll ever be watching this, but he built battleship models, which were the coolest, like the big scale ones.
Yeah.
Spent, long periods of time making them. And then he had a radio control car, a big one.
Right.
And he let me have a go. And my dad was like, no, because he's going to crash it. And I was so good at it.
Yeah.
I think, and it was rapid, this thing. So he couldn't believe that I was so good at 4 years old to be able to control such a thing. So then he bought me a radio control car, and then I think we started to race at a local club.
Yeah.
And I was beating people of our age, because radio control cars, it's such an intense sport. It's just like Formula 1, but just obviously a much smaller scale. The lines and everything apply exactly the same as they do when you're in a car. So, but I could see that from a distance. So, and then I think we went on the holiday in Ibiza, and I got to drive a go-kart. For some reason, I remember that particular day when I was 5, and I picked up this braking, accelerating, the kind of the knack that you would have as a go-karter. I picked it up straight away.
Russell Parks still battling with number 1, Lewis Hamilton on his case. Hamilton then jinks out of the slipstream, takes a look over his right shoulder, and there is number 2, Benjamin Moss behind him, but Lewis Hamilton hits the front, your series leader.
I got Ron Dennis's phone number. I can find him in 9 years, and I'll get to find him. And he might give me a free drive in McLaren.
We were just, nobody's turn up at a go-kart track, trying to do what everyone else was trying to do out the back of the Vauxhall Cavalier we had.
Right.
And obviously just looking like serious, most unprofessional family there, but we were actually starting to really bother people because we were getting quite competitive. Most people today, most parents, I think, that are doing go-kart, they're like, we want to be in Formula 1.
Yeah.
So we want you to play for Manchester United or something, so we're going to start you playing football. It wasn't like that.
Well, now kids want to be Lewis Hamilton, don't they? So
but then they go karting to start for that reason. But we started just as fun, as a hobby, and I think that was an important.
But not football or any other sport that you.
I did football, but karting was just better.
Was there something like? Can you remember a moment where you suddenly became aware of this thing, Formula 1?
It wasn't until I was 12, 13, 14 years old. Even when I got my contract from McLaren. I'm a 13-year-old, man. All I know is I like to go out and drive a go-kart. I didn't think, hey, this means I might get a chance to get to Formula 1. It wasn't until I was probably like 15, 16, maybe, 16, going on 17, and I kind of realized, okay, this is going to get serious.
Yeah. I know you went up to Ron and said, I want to drive your cars in the future.
Well, that was one of the turning points, of the many turning points in my career, but that was a point. We would have run out of money. If Ron hadn't come along, my dad would have done everything he could have, selling everything he owned to have raised enough money to keep me karting. But we were very fortunate that when Ron came along and Mercedes came along and supported me.
So did you start sort of dreaming about Lewis Hamilton as a Grand Prix driver?
No, again, because I got signed when I was 13. So again, I got home, my dad said, we've had a call from Ron Dennis, he's offered you to be in this program. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I just went upstairs and I did my homework and played some computer games. I didn't think, hey, I'm going to be in Formula 1.
Because you're too young to understand it.
I think so, yeah. And it wasn't until later, as I said, when I was probably like 16, after my dad's been drilling it into my mind that you got to behave and present yourself in this way and continue to excel at the racing and at school. And it wasn't until I was kind of coming to the end of my karting career that and I was dominating at the time, and then I went to cars.
Yeah, and of course you raced against Nico as well, didn't you?
Did, yeah. I went to Europe to race in Italy when I was 13, and at the time, Nico was the golden child there. He was in the Works CRG team, and obviously he was known as the next world champion's son, so the light was all on him, the spotlight was on him, and then
he had a target on his back, really, didn't he?
He did, and our first race together was a place called Parma, and we were 1-2 the whole way, 23 laps. And in karting you draft and push the cars to get away from the rest. I just pushed him all the way, and then the last lap I overtook him and won the race. He took it amazingly well, and that was really when our friendship actually started.
Lewis Hamilton is the world champion.
So this is to my family. Thank you for all supporting me and believing in me.
I think for the sport and for us as a family, it was a real landmark, really something that we will never forget.